weren't able to fight for the lead in the last race. He said immediately they got out onto the water, they found out they had trim problems as well.
Yeah.
So unfortunately they didn't complete enough laps to score any points, so it's been not a very good start for them. Let's have a look at the point standing, which we did see a little bit earlier. Dubai Police on 105, 66 for 222 offshore. Now they've moved up one place from third into second place because of that race yesterday. The one of the big winners has been Abu Dhabi 4. Because of their position yesterday, they've moved up from 9th place into 3rd place in the championship. So Venus Bali, they stay exactly where they are. Maritimo are not here, so they're way down the bottom. But Swicat, because of that non-finish yesterday, that means 2 non-finishes, 2 non-point scorers out of 3 races. And unfortunately, the number 2 boat is down in 11th place.
And in case that Dubai Police, they are starting from the first position, they won the first 3 races of the season. Let's say in case they win also this, anyway, there will be a big battle for the second spot, because the 222 offshore with 66 is followed by 3 boats with 52 points. And that stake for the first is 35, for the second is 30, and then 26, 22, and so on and so forth. So anybody would aim at least for the second spot in order to climb up and be on the second stage of the overall rankings. But we will see, because today the conditions are different, and it's a green flag now. This means you were told to be in the cockpits, all of you are in the cockpits, and now you have to leave the pontoon. So this means that one by one, all these boats that you see on the screen will leave the pontoon. Slowly they will start to follow the pace cut, and they will move to the let's say top left part of the screen to reach the upper part of the race course. At that moment they will get another flag telling them to align. There will be the yellow flag telling them to align.
Yellow flag telling them to line
exactly up. And when they are all aligned in the correct starting position, there will be another green flag, but this will come in a while. Now we'll see, because they are going out. We will see if there is this fireworks. It could be a surprise.
This is what I was told. If it doesn't happen, blame me. It's what I was told.
No problem.
We did have an official practice this morning, and remember I did tell you that because the New Star boat flipped over, it was red flagged, and to recover the Russian boat. And for surprise, actually, maybe Dubai Police were thinking about making a late run in official practice 4, which was this morning, because they weren't the fastest, they weren't in first position on the free practice. That was Abu Dhabi 4, who have shown a good turn of speed this weekend, as have HPI Racing Team, and they are in second in official practice. Dubai Police were in third. Kuwait's finally getting the engines working under that boat in 4th place. Swicat Racing in 5th, Abu Dhabi 5 in 6th. Rebot, then Blue Roo down in 8th place in practice this morning, which is a surprise. Yacht Club Como in 9th, Venus Bali 10th, 222 offshore in 11th, and New Star, of course, without a time flipping the boat.
And what is most surprising for me in this official practice of this morning, Abu Dhabi 4 got the fastest lap with just one lap. So, and they start in second today, so this means probably they could find a very good setup, a very good balance for the boat. But as we say, today is more windy, it's a little choppy, so maybe the balance that they found this morning is not valid for the conditions of this afternoon. And they didn't have the chance to modify that much, and of course, even if they changed something, they didn't have the chance to test in the water.
Yeah, the boats are actually coming out now and starting to get behind the Pace Cat. Pace Cat's got it's quite a quick boat in its own right, but nowhere near as quick as these. Relative speeds between, say, the Pace Cat and a full-on XCAT racer?
Well, the Pace Cat, okay, is based on a hull similar to it's a Victory hull, same manufacturer as most of the racing cats. The engines are still Mercury Racing. In the case of the racing boats, it's a Mercury Racing 400. Similar to stock ones, but the ones on the Pace Cat are 350, so in total there's 100 horsepower less. Let's say the Pace Cat with a good driver and the right propellers, the right conditions, could get to 170 kph in kilometers per hour.
It's quite fast enough, thank you very much.
It's still quite fast, yeah. but a racing boat in same good conditions and everything, all perfect. Could get also to 200 kilometers per hour. We had one of the teams coming earlier to Stresa this week. On Monday, they had an attempt for the world speed record for such kind of boat, and they got to 198 kilometers per hour.
Oh, not quite tipping the balance.
Yeah.
Boats are still going out.
Yeah, and as you see from this shot, you've seen the boats are like actually getting in front of the shore of the city of Stresa. I think probably it's by where the hotel, Regina Palace Hotel is, and it's like a homage to the city. We have the mayor coming here, Mr. Giuseppe Bottini, all the times.
There's one boat still stuck out on the pontoon with the cover open at the moment, and that is the UICAT boat. Now, they haven't had a really good weekend, and they don't want race 2 to start like this. The cover of the cockpit is still open, and they're obviously still working on the boats. What will be the rules on this? If they can get away, all the boats seem to be facing towards the shoreline here. We're just looking outside, away from this UICAT boat.
Meanwhile, you see they're very busy trying to check. It's probably a pump of some kind, because that's the position where some pumps, hydraulic pumps are. You've seen another nice shot. There was like a camera car in the cockpit of one of the boats. The drivers had their arms raised to keep the cockpit open, the lid of the cockpit, the canopy open, because they were standing in front of the hotel, and when you're not moving, you don't have air coming in the cockpit. As we said, it's very hot. And so, can you imagine also racing in these conditions?
And the crowd line the shore here at Stresa. All the boats are lined up pointing towards the shore. We're expecting, we're expecting fireworks. Let's see what the entire start procedure is going to be interrupted by something special here.
Yeah.
Look at them. That is a sight. Absolutely beautiful sight.
With Isola Bella in the back, it's fantastic. These surroundings are like the best we can have. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're missing.
Still waiting for
there's the 12th on the far left, but we still miss. It's 13 with the pace cut, and we're missing still the UICAT racing. They're in front of us, still trying to fix something. We hope they can make it. They still have some time because of this parade, and let's see if they can make it.
Well, there's quite a few people on the UICAT boat at the moment. Two staff looking inside the cockpit. 2 of the workers, one of them almost falling into the cockpit. 2 of them standing at the back on the pontoon, on the sides of the boat, besides the cockpit. And no indication that the engines are going to get started on that boat. And it's a red flag for that boat at the moment.
Yeah, I was trying to get in touch with the time control, the race controller, in order to understand what's the situation in this case. We see this red flag at the pontoon. It could mean that the UICAT boat is not allowed to get back in case they can make it, because we still see them working very hard with their heads literally inside the sponsons, inside the bilges of the boat. I believe it's a hydraulic problem or some kind of electronics.
Just seen the fireworks go off from the coastline, lakeside here in Stresa. It would have been better in full darkness, but you don't race in darkness, not with these boats. Sorry about that. UICAT is starting to move out now, and all the rest of the boats are following them. And unfortunately for UICAT, well, it looks like they will score completely 0 here at Stresa. Not a great idea for them. They're still holding them under a red flag. They're still working on the boat, but I can't see any indication that these engines are going to be started here.
I've been able to talk to the race controller, and the red flag for boat number 2 still at the pontoon means so far you can't move. Even in the case you can start the boat, don't move now because we have to start the procedure. But in case they can start the boat, they will be allowed with another flag to leave the pontoon. So they're not out of the race at all. It's just a matter of trying and fix it as soon as possible.
And that we're watching, and I've got my eye on that all the time, because I would love the Swedes to get going here. They brought a little a jet board down as well.
Meanwhile, can I tell you, it's a funny situation. It's a pity you can't see it. There's a ferry boat on the other part of the lake, But because of so many spectators coming with their own boats to watch the race and stopping by our borders, let's say, they cannot get inside our race course, they are in the way of the ferry, so the ferry has to go on that way, and there's so many boats in between, and they're blowing their horn so loud because they can't make it. This just to give you an idea of how passionate the public is.
Now you see the boats being pulled out to the top of the track now, and they're actually coming fairly close to the top of the track, and without any indication that the lid's going to be closed on this XCAT boat. I doubt very much if they're going to be able to make the start. XCAT's coming round the side of the islands at the moment, but be coming up to the top of the course. When they get to the top of the course, they will split into 3 groups of 4, and it will go Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi 4, that's boat number 3 and number 4 on the inside lane. Alongside them will be boat number 10 and boat number 8. That's 222 offshore and the Blue Roo, Team Australia. They're in gate 1. In the second gate will be Abu Dhabi 5, number 5, Yacht Club Como, number 20, number 22 Rebot, and 46 Venus Bali. And in the third, the outside gate will be Team Q8, HPI Racing, no New Star and no XCAT, so only 2 boats in the outside gate here.
Yeah, so if we will see the images from front, it will mean the first gate will be on the right part of the screen, and you will have the first 4 boats as you, Clive, mentioned, then another 4 in the middle, and only 2 because 2 couldn't make it on the left part of your screen. Then they will come down towards us, let's say, and move and turn to the left after that very first gate, well, inside the course.
They are starting to line up now. The XCAT's got the Dubai police boat on its inside. They have to stay within 20 meters of each other to have a good start, these boats, and not less than 10 meters apart. They're all starting to break up into their various gates here. We're looking at the top of the course, and I'm looking out the window waiting for them to turn down onto the straight. What it is a long straight which cuts straight through the course. This is one of the commissioners of the day, Jean-Marie Van Lanker, waving at the boats, saying they're telling the spectators, move away, because you see how many boats are aligned just at the border of the race course. And at the same time, the other one, the guy standing on the back, was saying to the boats, get closer to us. You see Abu Dhabi number 4, they will start in second position. Dubai Police is just out of the screens, but he, of course, is there. And yeah, they have to move. You see some waves, now they are going very slow, but still it's not a flat water. Absolutely, we will see when they are speeding up, we will see them jumping a bit. I think, Clive, that we will see some propellers today. That means when they go airborne and the prop gets out of the water. I think we need to move some of these boats back first of all. There does seem to be a little bit of a hold-up with trying to get these private boats out of the way.
Look how many.
And look at how many there are on the lake today. We saw quite a few yesterday, and just in the camera view that we've got, it's a big lake, and there are a lot of boats out. Just out of my window, I could see at least 30, 35 boats just looking in one direction. Yeah. So you can look at the crowds on the shore and on the lakeside, but there are just as many people out on the water as well, and they could be a problem for this race. XCAT and Pace Direction, look at how close they are. Yeah,
I'm sure most of these people remember when XCAT came here to Stresa in 2013 and 2014. It was an amazing show, a thrilling sport event, and we had like tens of thousands of people, and so we are back this year in 2018. They want to be part of it. They want to be part of it even too much, because they can't get into the race course at all with their own rib or boat. Yeah, it's a matter of safety, of course. We love people to be as close as possible to the action, but they will be passing at very high speeds, creating waves and so on, and so it could be difficult. At the same time, I was mentioning you before, the ferry boat, they had to cross like a lot of boats watching the race. They had to take another course. The ferry boat had to move differently, and even the police boat couldn't move all the spectators.
Yeah, Nico Calderola, but you saw him in the cockpit.
Boat number 46, yeah, it's on the left of your screen. Then this is three Italian boats in the end. It was 6 Italian drivers in one shot. You see the yellow flag is getting prepared. It's not waved yet.
Now
it is. So this means now you have to align in the correct position. You know where you are standing according to the result of race 1. So first goes first, and then
green
and then immediately
green flag. That means you're getting up to speed. Green
Get
flag
up to speed. When it will be dropped, they will have to push full throttle. And they are already speeding.
So they come down on a straight line.
We don't have the shot on the pace cut, dropping the green flag, but they have started because they are pushing full speed. You see the wakes of the boats getting really this praise in the air. This means they are speeding up with these engines.
Having to look to see where Dubai Police, they got the drop on everybody at the start of the first race. I don't know whether they'll be able to do it this time. I know the Blue Roux are after them, and they said they've got a lot more to come.
This is the second gate that we see in the middle. The first gate is on the far right, exactly.
Now they're turning down to the first corner. And it is the Dubai Police followed by the Abu Dhabi number 4.
So close, wow. Abu Dhabi is chasing them just outside. They can't stay like aligned because they will get all the sprays and the wakes, so they have to move offset. But we see in Dubai Police immediately chased by Abu Dhabi number 4, Sean Torrente and Fale Al Mansouri had a very good start. Then we saw the Blue Roux and 222 offshore, so they kept the first 4 spots. We will tell you as soon as they cross the line.
Now I'll tell you this. This is the first
Blue
lap.
Roux seems to be, look at that, Clive, we see the images. The Blue Roux is probably now in second position.
Yeah,
this is
just
Dubai
out
Police.
of the window. You look on there, I'll look out the window, I can see the Blue Roux in second place and a couple of other boats slowing down. I think that's the Abu Dhabi boat which has slowed down. It's not slowed down totally, but it is going backwards now.
Yeah, amazing. Abu Dhabi and the Blue Roux, they are side by side. Probably Abu Dhabi, it's trying to keep it. Yeah, it has a little of advantage. You see on the right, covered by all the sprays, is Team Australia. The blue boat is still on the screen, even if you don't see it, because it's covered in sprays. Can you imagine being inside and getting all the sprays on your windshield? It's terrible. At the same time, we see him speeding fast on the right. This is 222 offshore with Giovanni Carpitella and Darren Nicholson. They are trying to get the third position. Really fighting these guys in the first 4 spots.
The first lap, they've got to go around the entire course from the green boys right at the top. It's a long lap going all the way around, and then they have 2 long laps to do in a banana shape. There is a set of yellow boys in the middle of the racetrack, and that is the only right-hander on the track. They've got to go round those and back out. So we've got 14 short laps to do and 2 long laps. Just having a look at the Blue Roux there, but still out in front, it's the cream of the crop. That's Dubai Police. Right next to them is that still the Abu Dhabi number 4 boat, because they were showing some serious speed.
You see how wide Dubai Police went. They're drifting and drifting. They're trying to keep the top speed, so this means drifting a lot, having a larger trajectory, a larger path on the bend. But Dubai Police is clearly in front now, followed by Abu Dhabi number 4, and we see on the left part of the screen is 222 offshore.
Bang.
So 222 offshore overtook Team Australia for the 3rd position. And we have the first lap is finished. So Dubai Police in 1st place, then Abu Dhabi 4, 222 offshore, Team Australia. Yacht Club Como in 5th spot. It's good, they started 5th. In 5th position, then Ribot, I think this is a good start. Yeah, they both gained 1 position to the expenses of Abu Dhabi number 5. Bad start for them from 5th to 7th spot.
Yes, it's really sad. I saw them, one of the boats at the top slowing down and went coming off the corner. HPI, the last one through the gate, so their vaunted speed that they had in the first race hasn't come to the fore in this race. It is Dubai Police once again who've got the drop on everybody, and once again, unfortunately, it's Team Australia who've got to try to force their way through past Abu Dhabi 4, which has shown a real fleet foot this weekend, some real good speed, but the longest boat, the longest boat in the competition.
And we start to see some props. Look, this is Abu Dhabi following the wakes, the wake of Dubai Police number 3. This is boat number 96, François Pinelli at the throttle. You see how he was moving constantly, his hands on the throttle levers. Rosario Schiano was on the right. You see, we start to see some props because they're jumping actually. The wind and the wakes. they make jump. You see that they have to stay all offset because, as I said, you can't stand behind another boat, otherwise the visibility will be zero.
So far, the camera foreshortens the view. Those pleasure boats are not as close as you think they are, but it's still, once again, the Dubai police, and we're waiting for somebody to be able to cut them back. First thing we need to do is check the lap times the next time they come across. We've had a flying lap off the top, off the big lap. Now they've just done one of their short laps. They're doing 14 short laps and 2 long laps. This is the Dubai police. Look at the way it skips across the water. It's trying to keep that speed up, trying to keep it just barely off the top of the water. And Abu Dhabi 4 doing exactly the same thing. We want to see how the rest of the boats are faring, and Team Australia actually has been coming under attack now.
Yeah, by number 20, Yacht Club Como, the black boat. Yeah, they're getting closer to Team Australia. Team Australia is not going 100% for sure because their potential is much higher. They have some small issue because they're not at their top speed. Meanwhile, Clive, we're seeing, let's say, a sad scene in front of our eyes. The pontoon, we have the UIM boat. It's being pulled back to the crane to go back on land because they couldn't make it, they couldn't start it.
So let's have a look at some of the lap times after the first flying lap.
Look at the shocks they had in this cockpit. Yeah, there was a...
Yeah, banging up and down, but then again, they've been around this course now twice, and they're running into weight problems. Whoa, that is a long... I think somebody's gone for their long lap. That might
probably,
be Yacht Club.
They're going for the long lap immediately.
Now, Yacht Club were fighting with Team Australia, and this could be a great little advantage for them if they can get their long lap out of the way early on. They can go up to the tall boys right at the top. They have 2 laps. They were right behind Team Australia in the spray of Team Australia. They're going to do one of their long laps early so that maybe they'll have an advantage and can keep that speed up, so when they come back onto the course and Team Australia have to go for their long lap, or one of their 2 long laps, they'll end up in front of them without having to pass the boat on the water. That's the way things are going at the moment. Lap times at the moment, what have we got? Fastest lap out there at the moment still must be Dubai police, and they are 2.5 seconds ahead of Abu Dhabi 4 and 5 seconds to the good of 222 offshore. Blue Route 8 seconds back. Yacht Club Como was another 1 second behind them, but as I said, they've gone up for their long lap up to the top of the course. The rest of them are going round now. It has freed up Team Australia from the wake of Yacht Club Como to be able to, if they've got extra speed in that machine, and the team assured me they did. They had a lot more to come, they said, from yesterday. We still haven't seen it. Going behind the islands now. This is the Dubai police boat in full flow. Look at it, just floats over the waves. It seems to be in its element here. They've got this machine set up so well, not taking a dig, not digging into the water at all, just floating over it and making that turn almost as an aeroplane, and not well, it is indeed a flying boat, and they have pulled a gap again on Abu Dhabi 4 behind them, and that's a 222 offshore boat number 10 behind them, and there is nothing that anybody seems to be able to do about Dubai police at the moment. They've got a boat supremely set up for the conditions, and they're absolutely flying through their second full lap. It's actually 3 laps now, because the first one, where they go all the way around the course, actually does count.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was trying to fix we had a communication problem with the timing area, so at the moment we can't tell you exactly the timing of the boats, but of course we can see them in their positions. And now there's another ferry has to pass, and the police boat, has the siren on to move all the spectators. There's so many to watch this race. Look at Dubai police and Abu Dhabi number 4 trying.
It's huge now, isn't it?
Yeah, it increased. This is, of course, the perfect conditions to be on top, because Arif Al Zafan and Nadir Binindi know that we are in front. They have clear water in front of them. Like the strategy they had yesterday was like pushing as much as they could to gain enough advantage to take their long laps in the second part of the race, in order, after the long laps, to still be in the lead.
Oh, they're starting to kick up over... there's some swells out there right in the middle of the lake, and it's quite obvious to see it, and long swells as well. We did have a lot flatter water yesterday, but today we don't, and the wind is just pulling up the water just slightly across the surface, not in little waves, but long, slow, bouncy ones. And that looks like it was getting worse since the fourth qualifying earlier on this morning. So maybe they're getting into conditions that they don't really know at the moment.
Yacht Club Como went for their long lap, the first long lap, so their chasing of Team Australia in fourth position for the moment is over because they took the long lap. Same as Abu Dhabi number 5, I guess, because I've seen, yeah, it's Abu Dhabi number 5, and also both 96 HPI Italia with François Pinelli and Rosario Schiano.
We're looking at 3 different things at the moment. We've got a window directly out onto the lake, and we can see out there what's going on. The trouble is, when they start to cross over through the laps, we can't actually see it, so we have to rely on what's going on the timing, and also what's going on the screen. Now you can see 4th, the Blue Rouge, still now. Kuwait is into 5th place. Yacht Club Como into 6th place. 7th is Rebot. And Abu Dhabi 5, they're not showing any speed. They're down in 8th place. 9th is Venus Bali, and 10th is HPI Racing Team. And we expected more speed from the team which is carrying sponsorship from Mercury itself. And of course, these big Mercury engines, they've quite a few of them are actually held by the HPI team. I think they've got about 8 engines in all. Meanwhile, nobody can catch Dubai Police.
No, and the first 3 don't want to take their long laps. They're still chasing one another. It's Dubai Police, and then Abu Dhabi 4 and 222 offshore, still with no long laps taken. While in 4th position at the moment is Kuwait, because all the others have taken their long laps. So Kuwait temporarily is in 4th position. Good for them. They have quite a faster boat than the previous year. The Kuwaitian duo of Abdulatif Alomani and Mustafa Al-Dashti. Team Australia is now in 5th spot because they have taken their first long lap, and all the others. There's a big gap from Team Australia and Venus, which is number 22, Daniele Martignoni and Alfredo Amato in the cockpit. While on the screen we see this is a very nice front shot of Abu Dhabi. Exactly, Abu Dhabi number 4, Sean Torrente and Fale Al Mansouri. There's 2 boats from Abu Dhabi, number 4 and number 5. Number 4, you see it's a Victory built boat, is a typical shape of the Victory boats, while the other one is different in the back part, is a bit curved, and it's number 5, it's built by MTI, by Randy Chisholm in USA. There's another manufacturer of boats, boat number 96, which is currently in 10th position. It's a Doug Wright, still from USA, a Doug Wright boat. The 4th one in the championship would be Maritimo, built in Australia, but we've seen just in the ranking before the race they were last with 0 points because they crashed in the first race in Fujairah 2 months ago, and they had to send back the boat to Australia. They couldn't make to come to Stresa in time.
And it's a real shame because Australia not getting no points back that they really wanted to do this round after the disaster that befell them at Fujairah, and they haven't been able to close up. They were so confident when I spoke to them before this race. They said they had a lot more to come, and definitely they could take the race straight to Dubai Police. But once again, Dubai Police, if you have a look at the records behind Dubai Police, it goes way back. They've been winning since, you know, they just changed their name, but 2012. 2013, 2014, they were called FATA 3. Dubai 3, they were called in 2015. Victory 3, then 2016, 2017. And they've been winning all those years. They are just so used to winning, they're in the habit of it, and nobody can touch them.
When XCAT was born, they won the first year, and then they won 5 years in a row. They didn't. The Victory team won last year, but it wasn't them because they left Victory team in the end of 2016. This Dubai Police boat is not by Victory. I mean, it's built by Victory, but it's not managed by the Victory team. They are on their own. They took their whole staff with them, and we stress these days, Clive, this fact of how important it is to have a team of people who know each other so good.
Yeah. We mentioned this yesterday in race 1, the fact that these two, driver and throttle man, have to work together as one. It's basically one man with 4 hands.
Yeah, exactly. Or as they say, Arif Al-Zafain and Nadir Binind in boat number 3, we are 2 drivers and 1 brain. Yep. Look at these jumps. and they're pushing, even if they are leading, even if it's a bit wavy, they are pushing always to the limit. These are really professional guys, always trying to give their best and improve on their best.
It's so good for these guys to be able to take this out onto a lake with not too many swells to show off the aerodynamics of this. There's a lot of power in these boats, but all these boats theoretically have the same power. They've got the same engines. They've got these ROS 400 horsepower engines, 800 horsepower in total, with the competition bottom end. So there's really no difference between the boats except in the aero and the way it's driven. So this really does come down to driver and how the boat is designed, and the boats are always being refined, aren't they? You're taken away and they're worked on again, they're brought back for another race after being worked on aerodynamically.
Yeah, absolutely. They can change the shape of the sponsons, they can change in the back of the tunnel, they can add some small parts in order to change the flow of air, the airflow under the boat. And sometimes they even cut. Yeah, you see Rosario Schiano and François Pinelli. Look at the hands of François Pinelli, how they are constantly moving. These are the two levers commanding the engines, the accelerator, and it's always up and down, up and down, up and down.
Because as you were saying, and it was fairly new to me to see the props, they're designed to be half out of the water anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason why you see this wake so high that the spray is going high and far away back in the back of the boat. It's called the rooster tail because it's shaped actually like the tail of a rooster. And this is because the propellers are spinning for half of part, spinning out of the water, so they lift a lot of sprays. This is the best way to go in fast boats because you reduce to a half the water drag of the propeller blades themselves.
If you have a look next time, you'll see the front of the boat. They are actually flying. There's just a little bit in the water to give them forward movement. It gives them a lot of forward movement, but all the speed is because they're getting no drag from the water at all. If you see these, you'll just hit a little swell and the boat will leap out of the water and fly. They will fly here. This is 222 Offshore, currently in third place at the moment, and there's Team Australia. I think they're still in fourth place, chasing hard though.
Yeah, they always look the fastest when we have this side shot because the boat is so sleek and so long. In the end, they're not going as fast as expected this time. They are chasing. I would have said like them fighting directly with Dubai Police in first position, but that's not the case now for Jan Trygve-Bratten and Paul Virgnissen. Let's remember it's an Australian boat, Australian team, but there's two Norwegian drivers in the cockpit.
Yeah, it makes for a strange mix of accents in the team pit box.
That's true. Yeah, I can even tell if I'm not English speaking as a mother language, but I can tell it's weird.
Now they're turning down onto to face you, Team Australia. Look at the way they just leap out of the water. Just lost picture there, which is a real shame. And it really does look fast here, but they're not making any ground on third place at the moment, so they need to do that. It really does look like a sleek boat. But apparently there's something not quite right with that boat at the moment. Waiting for them to come through on yet another lap here, and it's still the Dubai Police leading by a long way now. Very few people have taken their long laps. There's quite a bit of a gap between a couple of these riders out on the water, so nobody's really interfering with them, with each other spray-wise and weight-wise. You can see what's going on. The Team Australia boat now turning in. It was a little bit wide, trying to stay out of the wake of the boat in front of it. Now taking an inside track if it can, just to try to keep away from the spray from the other boat in front of you. That's inside the Venus Barley boat, I think. That one, number 46, with Nico Calderola at the wheel. And a long look over the top of this lake. That's one of the Abu Dhabi boats coming down. I think this is in second place, the Abu Dhabi machine, Abu Dhabi 4. I could give you a definitive either when we see the number or when we see the back of the boat. And this is the Kuwait team boat, just flying out of the water there. They're developing a serious amount of speed. Kuwait, great shots from the front as it just tucks the sponsons into some of these waves, wants to keep off of these waves as much as possible. We did see Team Australia when they came to race the last race. yesterday. And they tried to take a nice tight turn. It's a long boat, and unfortunately the inside sponson caught just a little wave and dug in, and that thing, it pulled them away. Kuwait coming across the line, and they are in a big battle at the moment. I think they're just taking the wide line as they go around another boat. No, they're actually, I think, going up to do, Kuwait are going off to do one of their 2 long laps, mandatory long laps here. They were in front of 2 boats at the moment. This might not be the best tactical decision that they've made, because it's nice to be able to take a long lap when you're behind other boats, because it gives you a bit of free air. It's Abu Dhabi 5 just going through the finish line there. So Kuwait up for their long lap. And another shot of Team Australia as the camera pans around. But still, I can assure you, it is Dubai Police out in the lead. And Abu Dhabi 4 can do nothing about that at all. That lead is opening up all the time.
And Clive and Becca, I got back my mic. I went to check some things because we have technical issues also behind the scenes.
Everything's fine.
Anyway, yeah. After 9 laps, we have, of course, Dubai Police in the lead, and Abu Dhabi number 4 is trailing 35 seconds. This means that even if Dubai Police should take 1 long lap, they still would be in the lead. So that's the kind of advantage they wanted to gain on the second. Kuwait, because they didn't take any long laps, all of a sudden at the moment is in 3rd spot, but we will see. 222 Offshore is the real boat in 3rd place. 1 minute is the gap. Wow, 1 minute already trailing in the back of Dubai Police. Then Team Australia, Yacht Club Como, Abu Dhabi number 5, and Ribo and Venus Bali, HPI Racing Team.
It's quite obvious from the way that the Dubai Police boat was actually riding the waves that they were extending that lead. The Team Kuwait boat, they've just gone for their first of their long laps, so they'll have dropped back. And they were in a little bit of a battle at the time, but they were in front of the other 2 boats behind them by about a second or 2, and I didn't think that it would be the ideal situation to take your mandatory or one of your mandatory fast laps in. But apparently maybe that was the situation they were in. They know they've got to take 2 long laps and just had to take it as and when, and they thought, well, let's go and do that now.
Yeah. The shot is for Dani Martignoni and Alfredo Amato. Now the Ribo and Videx boat. It's a very captivating livery. They changed it this year. This is really flashy. It's more keen to Dani Martignoni way.
So it matches the personality of the drivers.
Exactly. It matches perfectly. He actually decided to go for that livery. You see the turn now, they move and shake sideways. It's so tough. Even with these small waves, it's so hard to control the boats. You will see them jumping. This is again Venus Bali 46. They keep it very high with the nose. It can be a way, but you see the danger is you lift the nose too much, then you get all the air smashing the bottom of your boat, and that's the way to flip it over.
But they're really putting the hammer down now and trying to close that gap. I think that's the reason that it looks a lot more flighty than the boat in front. And they really are pushing hard. That boat out of the water 2 or 3 times down the main straight as they come through the gates again to start another lap.
Yeah.
The boat in front is just gone for a short lap, and they're going for their short lap as well, so no long laps. They're still in this battle together, and the Venus Bali boat trying desperately to close up on the boat in front of them.
Yeah, we've seen that 46 boat with the nose that high. This is also a matter of how you control the trims, and the trims should be in the hands of Andrea Comello, who is also the throttle man. With one hand he uses the throttles, with the other hand he uses the trims, and on his side Nico Caldarola is holding the wheel. Meanwhile, we have back also the timing. Yes. So yeah, Dubai
just having
Police.
A look. Sorry, carry on.
Dubai Police is still in the lead, but now the gap with Abu Dhabi it's less, is 12 seconds because they took one of the long laps, while Team Australia is going for another one of them. So we have Abu Dhabi 4 in second position, 222 offshore, and all the others we will tell you as soon as they cross once again the finish line. We are in the 10th lap at the moment. There's still 7 to go for the finish. So it's going to be, there's still a lot to say, a lot to do.
And Abu Dhabi 4 goes through to start the next lap from them, and you'll be able to see the gap as it comes up. Reebok's running on their long lap now because they were in front of the Venus Bali boat, and Venus Bali were desperate to try to close that gap on them. Reebok had said, well, I'm not even going to let you see if you're closing the gap now. We're going for our long lap, you can carry on the slow lap. That is, in fact, if Venus Bali decide they will do exactly the same. And we'll see. It could be another tactic.
Yeah, also long lap for Kuwait. Yeah, all of a sudden they found themselves in 3rd position. Now they are in 6th after their long lap. And yeah, as we said, yeah, Abdul Latif Al-Omani, Mustafa Al-Dashti from Kuwait, of course. They're doing much better this year. They changed the boat and it's proving to be a very good boat. It was a beautiful shot. We've seen the boat number 4 in the front and another boat passing by in the back on the other side. This is an effect of the lens, of course. The circuit is quite wide, but yeah, it's been yeah,
well, this
looking
is part
close.
of the complex down up here in the north of Italy. You've got Lake Como on one side. This is the big one. That's why it's Lake Maggiore. It is a big lake, and it's where you can really stretch your legs in these kind of boats. Remember, these are going up to 200, close to 200 kilometers an hour. This is low flying at its tightest to the surface.
Yeah, yeah. So Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi 4, 222 offshore seem to be stuck in the first 3 spots. Team Australia in 4th has to do better than that because they can go faster. I believe from this shot, this is number 20. Yes, Serafino Barlesi and Alex Barone on their black boat, Yacht Club Como. They are now in 5th position, which is very good for them. Lesserman in pole position, they did 3rd, the 3rd time, but yesterday they didn't have such a good race and they finished, I believe, in 6th position. So they started in 6th position today and they are 5th now.
So once again, Dubai Police, they've got a massive lead. It's coming up to about 40-45 seconds now over Abu Dhabi 4. They've already gone through the start and finish line here on the track. I can't call it point, but and they are already coming down the back part of the course, and this is before Abu Dhabi 4 have even crossed the finish line. Abu Dhabi 4 go through now, and that is a huge lead. HPI, they've just lapped the HPI boat, so HPI, unfortunately, they are going far too slow to be a factor in this race, and they won't be getting in the way of anybody chasing them behind. And then the next boat to cross the finish line, it's not a finish line at the moment, to do another lap. That's the 222 offshore boat number 10, which goes through. They are actually closer to Team Abu Dhabi than Abu Dhabi is to the Dubai Police boat, which is really pulling away. And the Blue Row is trying to chase down that number 10, 222 offshore.
Yeah. Then yeah, you see here. No, this is the back of the race. Should be no. It's boat number 96. We've seen Abu Dhabi on the left part. You see the different shape of this boat, the different shape of the canopy, the windows. This is a Dug-Right built boat. For instance, you can see both of them. Look at the windows, how they differ. The center pillar is completely different. It's tighter on the boat on the right, which is a Victory, and much wider on the Dug-Right boat. But that doesn't count. What counts is the part that stays in the water and that gets there. That's just the windows and the pillar.
If they can fly, they can fly. And setting these boats up, the weight is distributed inside the sponsons. The way what kind of propeller they have in. The propellers are in fact the gears here. So when they're out practicing, the boat's coming way.
Yeah, I told you we would see some propellers. Nice. You were mentioning the propellers, and they say, okay, here we are. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, of course, changing the propellers is like changing the gears, but on a car you can do every time. In this case, you do before the race, you do before getting in the water, and then that's it. It's a balance between acceleration and top speed. In this case, this was quite a fast circuit, but because of the conditions today, with some waves, maybe they went for slightly shorter propellers.
Okay, 10 laps done now by Dubai Police. Abu Dhabi 4 behind them by a massive amount. It's close to 40, 45, might be even a minute now. I'd have to get a stopwatch on them and find out. But it is all spread out now, and 222 offshore. I think the battle now is to see if the Blue Roo Team Australia can close that gap and take a podium off of the number 10 boat, 222 offshore. If they can do that, they will have pulled back something on this, and that's the HPI boat going past another one. Now, I thought the HPI was lapped by one of the Team Abu Dhabi boats, but maybe it was just the camera angle that showed it going past another boat. No, the other one's gone up the inside. So another lap done by the number 10, I think it's 222 offshore. It's just gone past HPI. So they are, that's the third place, just gone past HPI again. So they're 3 down now, HPI. Been lapped by 3 boats in front of them.
And I was trying to do some math, Clive, because the first top 3 positions seems to be quite consolidated now. Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi, actually it's Abu Dhabi number 4.
It says Abu Dhabi 5, but it's not. It's Abu Dhabi 5 is in.
No,
I think that's the timing.
That's wrong. Yeah, it was probably a lap boat.
Water's got into the timing, I think.
Yeah, probably the sprays. With this situation, Dubai Police scoring 35 points. If they win, would go to 140 out of 4 races. 35 at stake. It means 4 wins in 4 races. Then 222 offshore with the 3rd position today would get 26. They were second. They would still maintain their 2nd position with 92 points. And Abu Dhabi number 4 would go in 3rd position alone, because at the moment they are 3rd position. It's Abu Dhabi 4, Team Australia, and Abu Dhabi 5. They are even. In this case, they would go on 3rd position by themselves. We will see.
We get sometimes transponder issues when they cross the line, and it does say Abu Dhabi 5 are in 2nd place, but they're not. It is Abu Dhabi 4, then 222 offshore, and then the Blue Roo again. And need to look out the window to see them going through, because I'm sure that the one thing in the mind of the Australia team is to close that gap. It's 222 offshore in the final podium position at the moment, and the Australians do not want to come away from this race without standing on a podium in at least one race, and that's the aim, because we were expecting, I've said it before, we'll say it again, that Dubai Police would be in a major battle with the Australians. Hasn't come to fruition at this time. And
look how close these 2 boats are. These are from actually the same owner. Number 22 is driven by Alfredo Amato and Dani Martinoli. Alfredo Amato is owner of this boat, number 22, and also boat number 46, the one in front of them. And
Rebot had gone off for its long lap to try to get a little bit of speed on the Venus Barley boat.
Yeah,
and
that's the reason why they found it.
It was in front of it at the time.
Exactly.
It's come back, and unfortunately it's behind it, because I don't think the Venus Barley boat took its long lap at that time, so it's behind it again.
Yeah, not yet, exactly. So in the end they will switch positions again when they finish their long laps. As for Yacht Club Como, they're still in 5th position. Behind the top ones, Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi 4, 222 offshore, and Team Australia. Serafino Barlesi at the helm of the black boat number 20, Yacht Club Como, is really experienced on the lake. Alex Barone is also a proper offshore driver. Serafino Barlesi has been racing in offshore many times, but also on the lakes many times. He's won so many world championships, and he's also champion on Lake Como, which is the lake just behind us. It's like the other side of the mountains, beside Lake Maggiore. It's not the same lake. I know who loves one normally doesn't like that much the other one. They're beautiful both to me, but Serafino has been winning some races on Lake Como many times, and now on the lake here he's behaving very well.
Abu Dhabi 5, though it did show them in second place absolutely briefly. They're in sixth place. You just saw the Kuwait boat going through there. They're in seventh place and chasing them down. Then it's Venus, Bali, Reboat and HBI Racing have been lapped by the front three at the moment. Dubai Police, I'm not even going to use a watch on this. They're so far ahead, it's ridiculous. They can park and go fishing for a little while before anybody can catch them. Team Australia, I want to see who's in front and how close they are, because Team Australia had 222 offshore in their sights. There is the Dubai Police boat going through, coming down on the straight at the moment, and I think they've knocked it off a bit, and knocked it off quite a bit, because this is Abu Dhabi 4 coming through and chasing them. So possibly the Dubai Police have actually done one of their long laps, and that's the reason that the gap has come down again. So Dubai Police and Abu Dhabi 4 together, almost. Dubai Police just going through the start-finish line at the moment, and going up to the top of the first turn. So not a tight little turn here. You can take it tight, but a lot of people, and especially the top teams, will just try to keep the speed up, maximise the speed on the boat, float over the water, and take that turn as gently as possible. They are, in fact, around about 15 seconds, 16, 17 seconds in front of Abu Dhabi 4, who's gone through.
And Team Australia on the screens seem not to make it to chase 222 offshore. The gap was just 6 seconds before. Now it seems to be increased a bit. We'll see by the timing. They try all they can. The first turn after the finish line is the trickiest one, because you really don't know how to take it, if tight or wide, and they're always trying to do something different from their opponent in order to find to close the gap. You see both of them, 222 offshore in front on the left of the screen, and Team Australia in the back. They have to move offset from the wake, of course, as we always say, not to be disturbed, but now the gap is more. This is once again number 46. Nico Caldarola is a former rally driver, rally cars of course, so he should be used to get shocks on the steering wheel, and that's why he picked that position. He will be the driver at the helm and Andrea Comello at the throttles.
But unfortunately for Team Australia, they always seem to be on the wrong side of the boat in front of them. They had to take a wide line there for the right-hander, coming up to the top of the course now, in the tightest course, and this being the longest boat, these tight corners do not suit it at all. It needs long flowing corners and some lovely long fast straights to really stretch its legs. And it's been held back a little bit here with this course. Of course, it's an anti-clockwise course. I think the only anti-clockwise course we've got in the calendar.
Yes, and that's bad for them. You know why, Clive? Because I was talking to some of them. I said, but what's the point? I kind of had an idea, but they explained me. Because as the driver, or the one holding the wheel, is sitting on the right part of the cockpit, anytime you have a left-hander, you are faster from the buoy. So it's better for them to have all the right turns, because the driver can see the buoy just outside of the cockpit, beside his very eyes. So in this case, most of the turns are the other part, and it's worse for them. There's only one right turn with the yellow buoys. So in this case, it's trickier for them.
So driving on the wrong side of the road again.
Exactly.
We're looking at Dubai
As you're
Police.
British, you know this kind of right or wrong, right or left.
Oh dear. Won't go there, we just won't go there. Dubai Police, what can we call it, flying. If you step back a little bit from the screen, it looks like they're not even on the water, just blasting out a white spray behind them. Yeah,
there's probably an overlap boat. You see the sprays, they're getting by. You can disturb them a bit, but they are used to, because they are so fast all the time, so they are even used to overlap and to lap other.
Yeah, that's Abu Dhabi 4 chasing them down, and they've really turned tight into that corner. They're trying, it doesn't seem it, you know, because it just seems so pleasant to be out on the lake in these conditions. But they are sweating buckets in that cockpit, trying to do everything they can to shorten the distance between these two corners. And what that does is upsets. You see, they turn really tight there to get out of the wake of the Dubai Police boat in front of them and really put it down. But that turn sheds speed. Anytime you're doing a tighter turn, the tighter the turn, the more speed you're going to shed from the boat. You don't want to do that. but you need also to stay out of the wake of the boat in front of you.
And it's a trade-off. Sometimes it's better one way, sometimes the other one, and it's not like a racetrack, like a circuit where the conditions are always the same, because anytime a wave is different from the other, so anytime you pass the same buoy, it's different.
But it is a lot easier, I would think, in some respects, for Dubai Police to do this. In conditions down in the Gulf, you do get a lot of conditions like this offshore. It is quite you can find some really nice sheltered areas down in the Gulf, and conditions will sometimes be a little bit like a lake. And there are other ones where you've got real waves, you've got to jump and bang your way around the course, and you come back covered in bruises.
Last December we raced in Dubai, but we were on the Palm, actually on the crescent of the Palm, and so it was a bit rough there, and like even 2-meter waves. But Arif Al-Zafan and Nadir Benindi, they are good in all conditions. They'll be racing also in Class 1. Okay, the boats are much bigger, but the waves are much higher, and they are good as well. I mean, this is the perfect combo. As we see them, they just overlapped number 46, which is the blue boat on the screen now. No, actually it's number 22, pardon, Videx Ribot, with Dani Martignoni and Alfredo Amato. And Abu Dhabi should come from the left of the screen quite soon. And he's still chasing them, we hope as soon as possible, but I think the gap is it's a big one. It's 10 seconds in the last lap because still of the long lap strategy. But actually it's more, as boat number 4 overlaps the 22 boat.
Yeah, it's gone up the inside of that boat, so there's quite a few boats now down. That's Rebot. The next one to be lapped, if they have time, will be Venus Bali, which is still in front of Rebot at the moment. So two boats have been lapped in this track as Dubai Police scream through your screen. Kuwait saw some speed from Kuwait, but they haven't been able to catch the Abu Dhabi 5 boat in front of them. Yacht Club Como and Blue Route still locked in battle with the number 10 boat 222 offshore, which is in 3rd place, and still in exactly the same order that they've been for the past couple of laps. It's been so difficult to pass here. There's Dubai Police going through. And Abu Dhabi now, Abu Dhabi 4.
At the moment I was watching at the standings, beside New Star, they flipped this morning in free practice, beside Sueca they couldn't make it. I think some disappointment is for Abu Dhabi number 5, which we mentioned so little because they are in 6th spot. It's much below what they can do, much less than they can do. Rashid Al-Tayer, Majid Al-Mansouri, they won races, they are champions, they are professional drivers. So, pardon me, 6th spot is not good for them, also because they were in 3rd position in the championship, same points as Abu Dhabi number 4, their sister boat, and Team Australia, and now they are losing points on both of them.
That boat is absolutely flying. Every time it comes around that corner past the island, it just seems to almost take off. It's like a seaplane. Well, it is in effect a seaplane, which doesn't quite take off. A chronoplan. If I remember it correctly.
Exactly.
Is actually, it is really floating over those waves, and the beautiful thing about it is it's going in a turn. It's coming off all these ripples and the long frequency waves which do occur in lakes like this, and it's just floating over the whole lot of them. And no wonder they are leading so well and so easily. The boat is set up like an absolute peach.
You've seen Nico Calderola saying 2 with his hand to Andrea Comello. It's probably some kind of setup, because it doesn't mean we have 2 laps left. Yeah, white flag now, and this means this is the last lap for all the boats. I was okay, no problem. I thought I saw some flames, but it's just no. Yeah, no, it happened once that this very boat, Arif Al-Zafan Nadir Benindi, got an engine on fire, but it's not the case at all. So this is the last lap for them.
The only right-hander on the course. They are at the top of the course at the moment. They go up to the tight turn right at the top of the course, then fly down between the 2 islands and turn onto the start-finish straight. There's nobody to touch them. They are just absolutely running away with this. It's last year's champions, taking the first 2 races of the season down in Fujairah, and this time, well, unless something drastic really happens, and the good news is that so far during this race we haven't seen any problems at all. Nobody even catching an edge to lose a lot of time. They've all been right on their maximum at the performance that they could do with what they had at the time. And who's got the better boat? Well, you can see who's got the better boat. It's the 2 in the Dubai Police team, Arif Al Safain and Nadia Ben Hendy. Their victory boat is just absolutely solid in these conditions, coming down between the 2 islands.
Images are all for them, as it happens all the time. So when it's the last lap, you see beautiful shot, Isola dei Pescatori on the left, Isola Bella on the right.
Just waiting for them. That's one of the later boats.
There they are.
Come behind the island.
This is the very last turn for them, and then full throttle again. Well, they are full throttle even now, I believe. Anyway, straight down to the finish line.
Look at that. That turn was absolutely beautiful. Floated through it, streaming down past the crowd at the lakeside. They're coming up to take the checkered buoys. There's no flag here, waiting for the boat to cross the buoys. Here they come
here
down.
they are arriving.
They
last
are
straight.
steaming down. Just full throttle through this gate. No, they don't need to turn anymore. Just open it. Open the taps up. Cross the line. And that is yet another win for
another
Dubai
massive
Police.
victory for them. 4 wins in a row in 4 races. Abu Dhabi number 4 to close in 2nd spot. We see them, they pass just by the finish line, and then we will see who will come third.
Offshore, if they get through this again, they'll have yet another brilliant race.
And here I see on the screen, the camera is on the finish line. 222 Offshore is arriving. Here they are, followed by 22 and Team Australia.
You know the strange thing about it is,
it was another angle.
It's race 1. Ran again. If you have a look at the results, you'll see the top 3 exactly the same. You go all the way down to 5th place. 5th place is Abu Dhabi 5. In 6th place, it's Yacht Club Como.
Yacht Club Como today. They are arriving right now. They made it. Checker flag is for them now. Yacht Club Como, great. We've seen Ribot passing, but it was a lapped boat. So Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi 4, 222 Offshore. Team Australia, Yacht Club Como in the first 5 spots. Now we are waiting for all the others. I'm just trying to see with my eyes outside of the window of our booth. It's Abu Dhabi number 5, this MTI boat. As the camera is for Arif Al Safain and Nadir Ben Hendy.
They've already stopped and they've caught their lunch already, you know.
The checker flag is still being waved because not all the boats have finished. We are down to the 6th position. There's still Kuwait, Venus Bali, Ribot, and High Performance Italia. We see them. Kuwait now closes in 7th. Abdulatif Al Omani and Mustafa Al Dashti from Kuwait, of course. Then in 8th position, seems to me that it's boat number 96. I don't know, maybe they have a gap of 1 extra lap. Because for the timing they're still in 10th position, so it's they've been lapped 2 times. Rosario Schiano and Francois Pinelli, they didn't find a good setup of the boat for sure. While we are still waiting for the 8 and 9, should be Venus Bali and Ribot, the 2, let's say, cousins boats from the same owner, Alfredo Amato, who's also racing on Ribot. So
there it comes, Venus Bali crossing the line.
Nico Caldarola and Andrea Comello in 8th position. They cross the line now. The images still stay on Dubai Police.
Of course they do. The winners. I'm still waiting for the last boat to cross the finish. But I would say, actually, Dubai Police, we've mentioned them so many times.
That's it. We didn't see Ribot again because they were lapped, so they passed and they took the checker flag before. So this is the final results of race 2 of the Stresa Grand Prix UIM XCAT World Championship. Dubai Police, another 35 points. 140 is the total out of a possible 140.
Oh no, it's just not fair, is it? Not fair on anybody else. Abu Dhabi 5, unfortunately, 1 place down on their race 1, 5th place, so they're down as well. Ribot, unfortunately, they've lost a lot of points because they were 7th in race 1 and they're down in 9th. Team Q8, they've done a little bit better. in 7th place. In fact, they were 9th in race 1.
Yeah, it was good for them. Yeah, as we said, also because XCAT Racing didn't take part in the race, and even New Star, but still they are gaining confidence with their boat, Team Kuwait.
Yeah, it's a good point you made there. New Star were looking good as well in race 1, and XCAT, although they weren't expected to do well on this particular type of water. Unfortunately, they weren't able. They did fairly well in race 1, better than I thought they would do. But unfortunately, no result for them in race 2, and that's two races, actually 3 races without scoring a point for XCAT.
Yeah, really disappointing.
Huge.
Absolutely, they were 3rd last year, and they were 3rd in the very first race of this season. So yeah, it's bad for them. Meanwhile, I put down my mic again because this time I just not going to the timing tower, but I'm going straight to the podium because we will have the top 3 drivers going there. We will have the interviews. So from me, meanwhile, thank you for having followed us. Thank you for having been connected on live streaming. I'll see you next race, and I leave you with Clive. Thank you, Clive.
Emanuele Di Celle, thank you very much. The man has got a brain the size of a planet, which keeps him in hyperspace. And thank you very much for being with me for this one. Well, all I've got to do is just tell you about how beautiful it is around in Stresa, because it's going to be a little while before these drivers can get out of their vehicles. There's Nico there. Now I know Nico from the Superstars V8 series, who was racing for Roma Racing Team down there. And in fact, I think I mentioned yesterday that he turned up on the track with his racing overalls from Superstars. Still had the Superstars patch on it, still had the Roma Racing thing on it, because he didn't have any overalls for the team he was in or the boat. He was such a late entry into this, and of course you're coming in with a throttle man that you don't know, you've never worked with before, and it's been actually a pretty good drive for the Venus Bali team, number 46, with Nico in the driver's seat, rally driver, as Emanuele said. So yeah, we can mention the Dubai police. I think they've had enough plaudits, they're getting enough points and enough mentions, and they're just running away with this. And in fact, when they did do their long laps, they had 2 long laps to do, the 2 mandatory long laps. Haven't seen any problems with anybody else. There's no penalties so far in this race, because sometimes, especially out on the water, things can happen and that you will miss them. Great overhead shot from the drone cam. That just shows the pontoon that we've got out here and all the boats lining up. They'll be emptying themselves from their drivers and throttle men at the moment. They're all walking down to and rather shakily, because the pontoon is in fact on water, moves around. I've walked up and down it and thought, I know it's a nice wide area to walk up and down, but if you're not paying attention, you could fall off of it. It's nice, it's wide, a nice wide path, but it does rock and roll quite a bit, and you need to develop your sea legs to be able to walk up and down there. And it always surprises me that the drivers and throttle men have been banged around so much inside that cockpit, even in this relatively flat and calm water. You get out of these cockpits, you get onto that pontoon and don't immediately fall over. They are absolutely wrecked. 31 degrees temperature out there. The temperature is still actually, I think it might have stabilized at 31 degrees right now, but the sun is beating down. The Lago Maggiore, the major lake of the region, the sister lake to Lake Como, which you all would never get on Lake Como unless you're driving a Riva, and also have a model girlfriend and an Armani suit at the same time. Lago Maggiore is totally different. Everybody and anybody. Time for interviews with the drivers.
So, what an amazing weekend for you. Double win. What can we expect from you next?
Well, I'd like to thank my brother Araf. We did an excellent job. The whole crew, Dubai Police, for winning this title. It's an excellent venue. I would love to be in Stresa. The people are very friendly. Very happy to be here, and thank God we won first place yesterday, day before yesterday in pole position, and today the second race first.
There was a big attack in the final laps from Abu Dhabi number 4. Was it difficult to control?
Yeah, if you remember yesterday, I told you will be big competition between us and Abu Dhabi and boat number 10 from Italy and boat from the Australian. We know this will happen, but we'll make it a new strategy, different than yesterday. Important for us to finish the race, sure, with the number 1 to take more point to make it us in the safe side.
Amazing job, guys.
Thank you.
Just 7 seconds in front of Abu Dhabi 4. 222 offshore number 10 in third place in the Blue Roo. The Australians in fourth. Yacht Club Como fifth. Abu Dhabi 6. Abu Dhabi 5 in sixth. In Kuwait, Venus Bali, Rebot and HBI team. Rebot and HBI High Performance. Italy both being lapped. So showing one lap down. Really impressed by Venus Bali among them all, and still wish to know. Sometimes I like to be a fly on the wall and have a little radio in the boat and in the crew areas for Team Australia to find out why they were 38 seconds down off the leaders, Dubai Police. Remember, they did have to do 2 long laps. Dubai Police really put the hammer down at the first part of the race to stretch that out, and so that they could do their long laps without any interference. Didn't get any interference at all. In fact, knocked it off the last 2 laps, and the gap between them and Abu Dhabi Police 4 could have been a lot larger than it's shown on screen at the moment. And 222 offshore not being pegged back by the Blue Roo, and you saw everything the Team Australia number 8 boat was trying to do to close down the number 10. Trying the inside, the outside, but when you've got 2 boats so evenly matched at that time and somebody gets a lead on you, they have the advantage because they get the line into the corner, and you could see that they weren't disturbed by any wake from Abu Dhabi 4 in front of them. You could see the gap between Abu Dhabi 4 and 222 offshore, so that they wouldn't be any problem, but the gap was too short for Team Australia to do anything about it, to close up on them. It's an amazing feeling sometimes when everything that you've tried, everything that you've planned, everything that you've put together with your team, your teammate, the strategy, the work on the boat, when everything works perfectly, it seems that nothing can go wrong. And so far, for Abu Dhabi Police team, the champions from last year, although the name has changed to protect the innocent, apparently, they are, well, they're police, of course. And smart, secure and safe probably is, or something else on the side of the boat, is that they have a motto for the Dubai Police, but I can't quite see it at the moment, and it doesn't look like I'll be able to. And I haven't remembered it, which is the worst thing you could possibly do. It's in English on one side of the boat, in Arabic on the other side of the boat, in Dubai Police colours. So yes, the green and white, which is not only German police colours, but also Dubai Police colours. And and they've got the fastest boat in the world. They've proved it for years and years. Time for the interview with second place.
So, it just maybe took 3 or 4 more laps for you to catch out on Dubai Police. What an amazing race.
Yeah, really, the boat was perfect setup-wise today. Me and Fala have such a better race today. Just every race we take, we get better with each other. We talk less, even though race control could hear us again. But we figure something out in the end of the race in the course that was really incredible. I wish we figured this out 5 laps earlier.
Between yesterday and today, you know, yesterday it will be flat, today it will be more wave. So that's a good experience between me and Sean. He's a good driver, and we do our best. And next race in China it will be best than this race.
So what we can expect from you in China?
All we got to do is improve about 3 seconds over, what, 45 minutes? So I think we can do that.
Thank you very much. Great job, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Team boats in second place, Abu Dhabi 4. Abu Dhabi 5, unfortunately, not having a great weekend this weekend here at Stresa. That's the place we've told you about Lago Maggiore, but Stresa, beautiful little town. It sort of bursts upon you as you come up from Milan. You're going through these normal, dull-coloured villages. You turn a corner, all of a sudden the mountains open up in front of you. You think they're clouds, and they're not. It's mountains piled upon mountains, piled upon mountains. Then you hit Stresa, and it is absolutely beautiful. It really is. So Abu Dhabi 4 in second place. Very shortly, once we get the drivers available, and throttle men, of course, 222 offshore, team number 10. We'll be able to get a hold of those. Italian-Australian team of Giovanni Carpatella and Darren Nicholson. Meanwhile, the boats behind me, that's it. Smart, secure, together. That's the motto of the Dubai Police team as they winch it out of the water. 2 cranes here to do the duties, and when you say to yourself, I've got to change gear, you just reach over and push a lever. Here they need a crane, take it out of the water, knock the propellers off, change the propellers, put them back on, bung it back in the water and start the engines, and that's changing gear. Your third place, this is 222 offshore.
So we're here with the third place finishers. Great start for you and a good race, positive race. Tell us the story basically.
Well, the story was that the start was good. We have the third line, so we cannot cut. Also, if we are in the front, we maintain our line. After number 8 coming inside of number 3, so become difficult to us because in half lap we still also in 4th position. So we had to push as crazy to retake the 3rd position and try to stay with the number 4. But in this condition of flat, a little bit wind, it's very difficult to stay close to the other boat.
What we can expect from you from the next round, can you contend the top guys, Abu Dhabi and Dubai Police?
If the next round's a bit rougher, Giovanni's exceptionally great on the throttle, so we'll step it up a bit more.
Sure. Do you have an exciting race too?
Oh, it's always exciting. It's never dull. It's great.
Thank you very much, guys. Great job again.
Thank you.
Victory team, Italian-Australian team, number 10, 222 offshore. In third place on the podium, another third place. The top 3, the same as, in fact, the top 4, the same as race 1. And you can understand how desperate the Australians were to get on the podium. Not this time, maybe next time. At the moment, and things are subject to change still, the series is still taking off. A lot of interest in the XCAT Powerboat Championship, the UIM XCAT Powerboat World Championship, so a lot of interest in it. And because there's so much interest, the calendar can be rather fluid at times around when and even how many rounds we're going to have. It's brand new. You see the crowd down there waiting for the podium celebrations. So far we've got round 3 to come in China at the end of August, early September, August 31st to September the 2nd. There are quite a few Chinese rounds, it looks like, this year. So far, the latest iteration of the full year shows us with 7 races all in all, this being race 2. We should have another, it looks like, according to the calendar, we have 4 races in China, and 2 of them, in fact, back to back. China round 3 and round 4 are, we finish on September the 2nd, and round 4 starts on September the 7th. So it's just a week between rounds predicted for the next 2 rounds. Then you go to October, and again a week between the 2 rounds 5 and 6. October 19th and 21st, and round 6 October 26th and 28th. and then right at the end of the year, Dubai. And while it's Christmas in Europe, or coming up to Christmas in Europe, and winter is starting to bite, the sun will still be shining in Dubai on the XCAT World Powerboat Championships, because we're there from November the 29th till December the 1st. So if you're planning on a holiday, a Dubai holiday, great place to be, huge entertainment, and we'll throw a race in for good measure if you're there between November 29th and December the 1st. That's currently the situation where the calendar is concerned with XCATs, but as I said, if interest in the series is just ramping up almost week on week here, and more and more people are getting involved. There's other things happening as well. We know that although these powerboats are incredibly sleek and fast, they have standard engines. The only way to make them faster is we've got to get a new boat. We've got to get a bigger boat. And I tell you who is working on another boat, and that is UICAT. They haven't had the best of weekends here. Problems in both races, no score this weekend at all, but they've got a lot of stuff happening. There's a powerboard lurking in the paddock as well. It's like a very short windsurf board, but with an engine in it, and it's a powerboard. You hold on to the throttle with one hand, stand on it, and just go batting around the lake. Saw a demonstration of that earlier on, and there might even be a competition, a powerboard competition starting up. And I tell you this, there are a lot of girls in that already, and hopefully, maybe someday, UIM powerboats, XCATs, will be having quite a few different ancillary competitions going alongside it. One of them possibly powerboards, who knows. And I was talking about UICAT Racing. They have in development a new boat which you will see will probably break cover sometime in February next year at one of the big American boat shows. And UICAT have confidently already called it a Hypercat. Let's go to the podium.
Ed ora passiamo alla premiazione della gara 2 di questo Gran Premio di Stresa della...
E allora chiamiamo i premiatori che devono effettuare la premiazione.
Prima di tutto abbiamo un premio, ok, I've seen in English and you say in Italian, yeah. There's a special prize, so I would like please to have Vincenzo Iaconianni on the stage with us. Then we have Raffaele Chiulli, president of the UIM, the World Powerboating Federation.
Abbiamo qui sul palco il presidente della Federazione Italiana Motonautica, Vincenzo Iaconianni, e il presidente dell'Unione Internazionale della Motonautica, Raffaele Chiulli.
Giuseppe Bottini ce l'abbiamo già qua sul palco, Andrea Padulazzi, il splendido padrone di casa del Regina Palace Hotel, nostro partner in questo evento. E Alessandro Basilico, segretario generale della Federazione Italiana Motonautica. Last but not least, of course, the mayor of Yanbu in Saudi Arabia, Mr. Fahad Mishan.
Allora salutiamo Mr. Fahad Mishan, il sindaco di Yanbu nell'Arabia Saudita.
And it's now time to call on stage the champions of today, the winners of this beautiful second stage of the Stresa GP 2018 UIM XCAT World Championship. In third position on 222 offshore, Giovanni Capitella and Darren Nicholson.
L'imbarcazione classificata al terzo posto è la 222 offshore, sono Giovanni Capitella e Darren Nicholson.
You know that these two drivers took part in the cocktail race the other night, and they did the first and third place. So there's some talent in them.
Mi dicono che l'altra sera hanno fatto la gara dei cocktail e si sono classificati primo e secondo, quindi l'applauso di Stresa è molto importante per loro. So congratulations.
And moving on, in second position, the race today, about Abu Dhabi number 4 with Sean Torrente and Fale Al Mansouri.
In seconda posizione, la Abu Dhabi 4, Sean Torrente e Fale Al Mansouri.
The winners of the second stage of the 2018 UIM XCAT World Championship Stresa Grand Prix, Arif Al-Zafai e Nadia Bilindi on Dubai Police.
E i vincitori per la quinta volta in carriera vincitore Stresa è il Dubai Police, Arif Al-Zafai e Nadia Bilindi.
Okay, good. Beautiful.
As we step on the first stage, on the first step of the podium, Nadir and Arif, I would like Andrea Padulazzi here beside me to please award the drivers in third place, Dario Nicholson and Giovanni Capitelli.
Signor Padulazzi consegna il premio, signor Padulazzi dell'Hotel Regina Palace, agli terzi classificati Giovanni Carpitella e Darren Nicholson del QQQ Offshore.
Thank you. Mayor Bottini, it's your turn to give the award to the second drivers of today for our Sean Torrente and Fale Al Mansouri.
Il sindaco di Stresa Giuseppe Bottini premia i secondi classificati Sean Torrente, Fale Al Mansouri, Abu Dhabi 4.
And now to award the winners of the second stage of the second race of the stage Stresa stage of the UIM XCAT World Championship. We have Vincenzo Iaconiani, president of FIM, the Italian Powerboating Federation, and Raffaele Chiuli, president of UIM, the International Powerboating Federation.
I nostri presidenti, il presidente Iaconiani della Federazione Italiana Motonautica e il presidente Chiuli dell'Unione Internazionale della Motonautica premiano i vincitori. Il vostro applauso per Arif Al-Zafai e Nadia Bilindi, Dubai Police.
But it's not over because the success of a team is not just by the two drivers but all the crew, and to represent all the crew of Dubai Police we have their team manager Ragesh Elayadet.
Ragesh Elayadet, il team manager del Dubai Police, viene premiato come scuderia, come squadra vincente.
To give the award to Ragesh Elayadet, we have Alessandro Basilico, Secretary General of FIM, the Italian Powerboating Federation. And now, before the last photos and the cheer, please stand in silence for the United Arab Emirates National Anthem.
Allora, signore e signori, vi chiedo la vostra attenzione per l'inno nazionale degli Emirati Arabi Uniti.
one last award. Two, yeah, absolutely. Two. It's the Anna Magnani Award. Help me for Andrea Padulazzi. Will give this Anna Magnani Award to Vincenzo Iaconianni. The Anna Magnani Award.
Il premio Anna Magnani viene consegnato da Andrea Padulazzi al presidente della Federazione Italiana Motonautica, Vincenzo Iaconianni.
Yes, this was the Anna Magnani Award that we had to give the other night. Vincenzo Iaconianni couldn't make it, so this is the chance to give him. And the other one, still from Andrea Padulazzi, the Anna Magnani Award goes to the mayor of Yangbu, Fahad Mishan. No, pardon, for the mayor of Stresa, Giuseppe Bottini. Excuse me.
Il sindaco di Stresa, Giuseppe Bottini, consegna un acquarello disegnato sulle 3 isole a Fahad Mishan, il sindaco di Yangbu, nell'Arabia Saudita. E vediamo un po'. Please, Mr. Major, just open. So, è un acquarello rappresentante l'isola superiore dei pescatori, l'isola madre e ovviamente poi c'è l'isola bella, realizzati da Giovanni Fabiani. Quindi insomma un applauso per la consegna da Stresa a Yangbu. Sono originali. Ecco fatto. Allora, adesso è il momento della foto di gruppo, una che sarà fatta verso il podio, ma una chiaramente anche verso di voi, e allora anche voi, tifosi di Stresa, entrerete nella storia di questa bella giornata, di questa bella 3 giorni con gli XCAT a Stresa. Appuntamento al 2019, il grande applauso per il podio di gara 2, il grande applauso per lo UIM XCAT World Championship. Grazie a tutti, grazie Emanuele.
Grazie a voi, grazie Gianluca e arrivederci al prossimo anno qui a Stresa.
Grazie a tutto il management, agli organizzatori e davvero grazie a Stresa. E buon divertimento a tutti.
Champion.
Sweep. 4 races, 2 rounds. A clean sweep for Dubai Police, full points, and we move on to the next race. We will be going far away from Stresa in Italy, which has been a beautiful location for round 2, and we go to August the 31st and September the 2nd. China will be seeing the UIM XCAT Powerboat Racing Championships very, very shortly. If you're on holiday, China is the place to be for round 3, August the 31st to September the 2nd. And until then, this is Clyde James McNeil saying bye-bye for now. But there it is, the next race is confirmed, 31st August to the 2nd of September. Join the UIM XCAT Powerboat World Championships then. We'll see you then.